Welcome to the Beacon First podcast. My name is Josh, and I get the absolute pleasure of serving as the online ministries director right here at Beacon First. And it is a beautiful day outside. It is not so sunny, but the temperatures are warm. And it's a fantastic feeling to finally not walk outside and have the temperatures hurt your face, right? It's very, very nice to do that. So this is the Beacon First podcast. And again, my name is Josh, and I get the absolute pleasure of serving as the online ministries director right here at Beacon First. I've got a couple squirrel moments going on here, as my wife would say, trying to do too many things at once. So I usually have Sean with me, but Sean is in Florida tending to some family needs. His dad is ill, so he is down there taking care of that. And our prayers are with with Sean's family. And we pray for the family and just everything to be at ease and for things to go well while he's down there. So I usually have Sean with me, but I am going to do this one solo. I was trying to get somebody in the mix here, but time ran out faster than I thought, as per usual. So I'm going to do this one alone. This is episode 67, called Negotiating with God. And I start every episode off with this week's personal best. Now, where I got that was from... Wow, I'm really loud in my ears. I hope I'm not coming through that loud. Where I got that was, we do these meetings at work, and we start each meeting off with a business best and a personal best. Well, the business best doesn't apply here, so we do the personal best here. And it just sets the tone for the entire meeting when I'm at work, or the entire discussion when we're here. It just sets the tone for sure. So this week's personal best for me, two things. I had you have to go to those dreaded parent-teacher conferences, right? And we had one for Emily this week, and her teachers said something that shocked me and her mother. Maybe not shocked, but was a pleasant surprise, and that was, Emily is a natural born leader, and she knows how to bring everybody together and get things done. And that was their exact words. And what was a heartwarming thing for them to say. They had nothing but good things to say. And this is usually a very brutally honest meeting, because it's not just a parent-teacher conference. It's a meeting about other things that education-wise for her. And so it's usually it always is a very brutally honest meeting. And they couldn't rave enough about her leadership skills, her attitude. And man, attitude is everything, right? The other thing is, I'm gonna do two this week, because usually there's somebody with me. I'm gonna do two this week. So the other one is my other daughter. One of my other daughters. I have a lot of daughters. One is going to school to become a nurse, and she got some positive news on how she can make all that happen. And she gets to hopefully the hospital will start to pay for her education after this semester at ICC, and she gets to start moving that way, and just kind of the next step type of thing. And she's super excited about that. I'm so happy. She's very much has a very big servant's heart. And that's Avery, who has a very big servant's heart and wants to help people, wants to be in the mental health field. And so she's taking those steps, and to watch your kids prosper is amazing. And I'm actually going to go for a third. Zena's middle daughter, I won't say her name, has become, she's a very strong woman. And she has a new love in her life, new relationship in her life. I don't know if it's love yet, but a new relationship in her life. And it has changed her whole demeanor. It has changed her whole attitude. And love does great things, doesn't it? And I'm just so happy for her. So that's a delight in our life as well. So, this is episode 67 called Negotiating with God. So, how many times in your life and in in our lives, do we say, Lord, if you just do this, then I'll do that? Or if you open this door, I'll finally trust you. Or if you fix this, I'll believe. And we do that a lot when maybe somebody's sick or when somebody's sick, when there's a health concern. And we do that a lot when in that situation. If you will help them through, or you will help me through, I will ... We often want God's promises, but we want them on our timeline. And yet God's timing, and we talk about this a lot, is intentional, very intentional, because a blessing given at the wrong time. And I'm gonna quote Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is a huge hero of mine because he is a huge motivational speaker, and I dig motivational speakers. That is my thing. I love to listen to motivational speakers because, to be perfectly honest with you, I need that a lot of the time. I like to motivate people. I like to get motivated, and he's a faith-based motivational speaker, and a lot of it has to do with his story. And when he tells the story, you have to hear his story sometime about sleeping in a car and getting phone calls, and the way he got onto the Apollo. He got into the Apollo. It's a great story. Look it up sometime. Steve Harvey's story. It's a great story, and it's a very faith-based story. And he says a blessing given at the wrong time could crush you instead of grow you. God's timing is intentional because given at the wrong time, you're not ready. And we do it all the time. I do it all the time for sure. I'm the most impatient person that I know. And I even told my daughter this morning, I'm the most imperfect person that I know. We were having a conversation about leadership. And I said, I'm the most imperfect person. And I'm also, and one of those flaws is I'm impatient. I want it now. I want to know what's coming. And the very thing that I'm asking for might destroy me if I'm not ready for it. Because you got to be prepared. You got to go through something to know something. And that's why I never knew that, because, as a 20-year-old, as a 15-year-old, as a even sometimes a 30-year-old, I was mainly in my 20s. Man, I knew it all. I knew it all. But as I get older, and as I go through more, and God, he's gave me incredible blessings with my wife and my kids. He's given me incredible blessings, but I'm still going through stuff. Now I'm just going through it with somebody. Those experiences have made me realize that age does bring knowledge. And so God is going to bring you through something so you know something, so that when he blesses you with the thing that you want, and it might not be exactly what you want, that you won't get crushed, that you won't know how to handle it. If you don't know how to handle money, you will not do good if you win the lottery, right? If you can't keep $1 in your bank account because it's burning a hole in your pocket, you are not going to do good with, $1 million. I ran across, I refer a lot to The Chosen, and there's a scene and this is what brought this podcast on me. I always tell you, I base it on my personal life, and a lot of it is based on my personal life. But I ran across this in The Chosen, and it's in season 5. And there's a powerful scene where Judas attempts to push Jesus to close the deal, if you will, close the deal. And that is Jesus was at his top popularity, if you will. He had the most followers. Everybody loved him. Not everybody, right? Not everybody. But they were ready to crown him king. And Judas says, it is time to close the deal. It's time to make this happen. He wants the momentum. He wants the strategy. He wants the visible victory. So he tries to nudge Jesus into action. He's trying to force the outcome. And Jesus says, and this is so powerful, so powerful. If I don't do what you think I should do, will you still believe? And Judas says, yes. We all know how that turned out. But here's the thing is Jesus then says, then I will pray for you because I only want your heart. That's it. I'm asking for your heart. So let's look at how this relates to Scripture. Let's look at we can look at how Judas wanted the kingdom on his terms. Many scholars believe that Judas expects a political Messiah, someone who will overthrow Rome. But Jesus kept teaching about surrender and humility and sacrifice. It's not about, and that's where, man, I stay out of politics as much as I possibly can, even though I ran for a city council seat. I don't see city council as true politics, right? Because it's local politics, and it's hometown issues. Not party based. So I try to stay out of politic issues as much as I can. But this is a political issue. And why do I say that? Because our politicians are more worried about popularity and power, and it's all over. But they're worried about power and popularity and things. And Jesus teaches us about surrender and humility and sacrifice. Politicians tend to call themselves public servants. Since when is that true these days? Look at John 6:26 and 27. The people followed Jesus for bread, not belief. They wanted provision, not transformation. And how often do we do the same? When we force God's timing, we try to force God's timing, it never ends well. Abraham and Sarah tried to help God fulfill his promise in Genesis 16. Saul forced a sacrifice instead of waiting for Samuel, 1 Samuel 13. Even Peter tried to rebuke Jesus for talking about the cross in Matthew 16:22 through 22 and 23. Each time someone tried to rush the plan, it led to consequences. It led to failure. Because God's timing protects us. Ecclesiastes 3, verse 11 says, He makes everything beautiful in its time, not ours. We are also always looking for, and I say we, this is something that runs deep in my soul, is faith without immediate results. Jesus will often ask the question that exposes our heart. In John 6, after many disciples left him, he asked the 12, do you want to leave too? It's the same question that he asked Judas. If I don't, will you still? And that saying is a few weeks old with me. I ran across it a few weeks ago, and it still just resonates with me. If I don't, will you still? Will you stay with me when the miracle doesn't happen immediately? Will you believe without visible proof? Will you follow without negotiation? Without negotiation. Let's talk about Lent. We all, some of us, give up something for Lent. Man, and I tried to negotiate this year. And I gave up a couple things. But there's one really big personal thing that I gave up, and it is a frame of mind that I tend to put myself in. And I kept thinking, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Last year, I gave up intentional sugar, if you will. I gave up all sweets, basically. I didn't want to do that. So you try to negotiate with God. Well, maybe I can have, one day out of the week where I can have a donut. Or I can allow myself to slip back into that frame of mind just for a little bit. Right? And you negotiate with God. And the problem is, will you follow him without negotiation? When he calls you, Emmy said it best during Lenten lunch a couple weeks ago, and you can see that online. Val spoke this last week. I haven't got a chance to upload it yet. I'll do it tonight. But last week, Emmy said, and this resonates with me too, if you are being pulled into a ministry or a mission, you feel yourself being pulled, and you go, I don't want to do that because it's uncomfortable, that's God talking to you. Will you follow without negotiation? Here's where we tend to negotiate. We bring this into everyday life. And here's where we tend to negotiate these days. Here we go. We negotiate with God when we say, I'll serve when my finances improve. I'll give when my finances improve. That's a big one for everyone, right? Because these days, finance is a very big deal. I'll forgive when they apologize. How many times, how many mistakes have we made where we've hurt somebody? Or we've gotten hurt? I'll forgive when they apologize. I'll step out when I feel secure. I'll step out of my comfort zone when I feel secure. I'll trust you once you show me how it ends. That's a big one. But faith has no contract. Faith is surrender. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 does not say, trust in the Lord with some of your understanding. It says, lean not on your own understanding. So I have a challenge for you. I have a challenge for us. Here's the real question. If God doesn't close the deal the way you want, will you still believe? If the door doesn't open this year, will you still trust? If the answer is wait, will you stay? Let's stop negotiating. Let's start surrendering, because what God builds in his time won't crush you. It'll carry you. And it's a big thing to trust him. When you get pulled into that ministry or serving people and it makes you uncomfortable, it will carry you farther than you have ever been. And we have so many ministries going on around here at Pekin First that can use you. If you have a servant's heart, we have the Open Table Cafe it's going to happen again in April. We have snack packing. We can always use some snacks for snack packing, or use the help to pack the snack packs. Come to a Lenten lunch. Don't have a servant's heart? That's okay. Come to a Lenten lunch and listen to the faith leaders here at Pekin First speak of their own experience. We hear the church, the leaders, we're all human. We got here somehow, and all of our faith stories are different. And maybe one resonates with you. My faith story is different than Debbie's, and it's different than Brad's. It's different than Sean's. But we're all here because God has brought us together at this particular time. And maybe that's for you. It's a great place to be. So check out all the stuff going on in and around Pekin First by visiting pekinfirst.org. And I thank you again this week for joining me. I love doing these podcasts. It's a huge Bible study for me. It's a personal Bible study for me. If you're not familiar with personal Bible study, I am 100% available at podcast@pekinfirst.org. I will show you the way that personal Bible study works for me. And maybe you don't know anything about Bible study. We have Bible studies that happen Sunday morning at 9 a.m., Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., Saturday night online, or in person at 6 p.m. All kinds of Bible study. So check it out at pekinfirst.org. And I think I'm done. I think that's all I have for this week. I thank you for joining me again. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast and share it with your friends. I would absolutely love for you to just share it with your friends and see if it's something they're interested in for sure. So again, check it out at pekinfirst.org. And remember, God put us here to do great things. So let's go do great things.